Hey Scorpio, welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Sarah. Today we're going to do a reading for you for the week of April 6th to the 12th, 2025. Keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take only what resonates, leave out what does not. If you are interested, Scorpio, in having a personal reading done by me, the information on how to obtain that is in the description box below this video. All right, Scorpio. All right, what does Spirit want to say to you now? Tapping into the energies of Scorpio, please, Spirit. What does Scorpio need to know right now? What is going on with Scorpio right now? We've got the Chariot in reverse. So there may be some sort of return to something, or there may be a halt. You may have been moving in some direction and it stopped. There's something about being confused here over choices is what I've got. But yes, there's been whatever it was that you may have been moving towards something out of confusion, and it looks like whatever this is has potentially either slowed down or stopped. Or you've decided to change direction. Yes, it looks like there's been some sort of detachment. Maybe somebody's ignoring somebody here. It looks like there's no action being taken right now. And it does look like there is this energy, Scorpio, of somebody who is very insecure. And it comes out in a way where the person feels very, like, almost like they come across like they have a lot of confidence, like they come across confidently, but it's not really confidence because it's arrogance. And it's rooted in needing to be validated through the getting attention from others, through attention seeking. Attention seeking is what brings this energy some level of validation. So this is either somebody in your energy, or this is somebody, or this is you. This is either you or somebody in your energy, but there was something that you were confused about. It looks like you were moving towards this, and something caused you to not want to take action here. And now you're either detaching from, or you are ignoring something here, is what I've got. All right. So that's, we're going to see what else is going on here. What's going on? Did I call you Leo? I hope I didn't. I think I meant to call you. This is definitely a Scorpio reading. For some reason, I felt like I called you Leo. And if I didn't call you Leo, I was definitely thinking about Leo when I was saying all that for some reason. This has something to do with your stability and your struggle. This has something to do with your overall stability. The Tower in the Lenormand deck has to do with structures and stability. And there's something about this whole situation that was very disappointing to you. It may have brought you a certain level of despair. This may have something to do with an actual court-ordered thing. This could be somebody who you were married to at some point. This may have something to do with your assets. Your assets could be tied into a connection of some sort that you're trying to stay away from right now. And the reason why I'm saying assets is because it's with the Tower being there, it's showing up that it has something to do with your structure and stability of your life. And it looks like there's been some sort of loss, or even like there's been some sort of loss or trauma of some sort that may have been incurred as a result of something that's going on right now. Devastation is what I was trying to say. Thank you, Spirit. So there's something that you may, oh wait, sorry, I pulled the wrong card there, but I am looking at the Emperor. So there's something here that you may have the potential to take the lead on here. Can we get something more on the Chariot in reverse to the Seven of Cups, please? There's something that somebody feels, you may feel guilty about something. There may be some sort of damage that you're feeling guilty for here. That has something to do with you may have made a wrong choice here, is what's with the Chariot in reverse to the Seven of Cups. And it may have been because there was something to do with daydreaming or thinking that something was going to turn out differently than it did. But there's something that you feel is unfinished here. And it's with somebody who you may have cut ties with. And it was somebody who either they burned their bridges with you or you burned your bridges with them. But it looks like somebody wants to have a conversation here. So what led to this? What led to this, Spirit? What led to this? Something to do with unhappiness. Maybe not feeling happy in your connection is what led to this. And so with the Sun in reverse to the High Priestess in reverse, I'm getting that there's been some level of deception. Something was unknown in the past, okay? And now we've got the Page of Swords in reverse, which has to do with misinformation. Some sort of misinformation was delivered. There was some sort of secrets being kept. There was something that was unknown. There was something that was not illuminated. Something was not made obvious in the past. There's definitely a deception. There was something to do with feeling like things were very turbulent, like you were stuck in some sort of turbulent situation. It wasn't peaceful with the Four of Swords in reverse. And there may have been some level of emotional manipulation that you had been dealing with. So there was some sort of emotional manipulation. There's a lot of deception. There's something that seriously was unknown in the past. And it almost looks like somebody made a move out of, almost like out of confusion, not really knowing what the choices were, but chose to move in a new direction here. Can we get more on the Sun in reverse to the High Priestess in reverse? There's a main female showing up here. So this could have something to do with the main female here not necessarily being really honest about something. It doesn't have to be. This is a general reading. So we don't want to gender this too much, but it is showing up that there is a main female involved here. And there isn't much more that would really solidify that this has to do with something there's something that's going on here that is dishonest. And honestly, the Seven of Cups is often my gaslighting card as well. So really the main female doesn't tell me anything, because it could be that the main female is the one engaging in this, but it can also mean that the main female was a victim of this. There was some sort of miscommunication is what I'm getting here, especially with that Page of Swords in reverse. There was some sort of misinformation that was delivered here, and now we see the main male. So there was likely a conversation between a masculine and a feminine, and it wasn't really an honest conversation is what I'm getting here. Can we get more on this Sun in reverse to the High Priestess in reverse, please? For Scorpio, habits. This is something that so whatever this is that's been going on, whatever it is that happened in the past, this is a cycle. This is whoever it is. So this is what I just heard, pathological liar. There's somebody in this situation that is kind of a pathological liar. We've got the High Priestess in reverse, the Sun in reverse. Something was unknown. Some decision was made out of confusion. It led to despair. Somebody's feeling guilty for something right now. Somebody may have run, created distance, took a vacay, meaning when I see this vacay card, along with distance, divorce, ghosted, separation, somebody decides to separate, but it's not necessarily that even if at the time that the separation was initiated, the intention was for it to be long term or forever, it doesn't end up being that way. Somebody always decides, because that's what I'm getting here, is that there's somebody who's feeling guilty now for this energy. There's somebody created distance, somebody decided to move on and reject and leave somebody out. Somebody was left in the silent treatment. Wow. But this is whoever it is that did this has a habit of doing this. This is a cycle that they're in. I'm guessing, Libra, that it's somebody who you've been dealing with. Libra, did I call you I'm calling you Scorpio. You're Scorpio. Scorpio. I'm sorry. I hope I haven't been calling you Libra. So Scorpio. There's somebody who you've been dealing with that has not been honest with you. And I'm getting that some decision was made. Somebody feels guilty. There's something about daydreaming or being delusional about something. Something was unknown because somebody was being deliberately dishonest about something. Okay. What's the future of this for Scorpio? What's the future of this for Scorpio? One more. Okay, so here's what I've got here, is that there's this whatever this situation is, because it looks like somebody's probably coming back because they're feeling guilty about something. There's a serious misalignment of values here, and I don't know that this can actually come together in harmony with the Lovers in reverse. I'm getting also here that in order for this to actually work out, in order for you to even want to bother with this, it requires a real sense of I'm getting dependency, like could be codependency, but with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, like that's a seriously dependent and not a very confident energy. So not very confident, feeling dependent. So we've got this Lovers in reverse. It looks like there's just this really difficult energy that you're dealing with, and it doesn't look like it's getting better. It's not your happily ever after. It does look like whatever this is going to come in and romance the pants off of you, though. And but whoever this is not willing to put in the actual work. And it looks like there's a lot of animosity here. I'm just like, can we get more on the Lovers in reverse to the Nine of Pentacles in reverse? There's some sort of communication coming in with the letter. And here's courthouse. So there's something to do potentially with with court stuff here. So there is a separation happening right now. Somebody's feeling guilty for something, but there is something to do with maybe even being served something as far as court stuff goes. You just have to take it as it resonates. This could be anything. And this is unexpected. This is something that you're not expecting to see happen here. And it's because there's been some sort of deception. There's something about this whole situation that's been unknown to you. There's something about a very broken energy in the future, like feeling very broken, sad, upset. There's something so something came between you and this person, okay? Now, whether this was a third party as far as romance is concerned is one thing. I don't know for certain, but it does look like there was some sort of there was some sort of karmic involved in this connection, okay? Or this person is a karmic of some sort that was meant to teach you something. That's why you were supposed to, there's a lesson here for you. This person is coming in with an apology. I was getting that whoever that is, somebody's really done something. Somebody's done something here that they're feeling guilty for, and they're coming in to apologize. There is going to be this feeling of loss. This hopeless card is the equivalent to the Five of Cups, and so is despair. So I'm seeing both of those right now. And salty is the equivalent to the Five of Swords that we had just seen in the upright. And there's something about suffering and silence. So there is this really it's really disharmonious energy here in the future. This is somebody who you could have actually been married to, or this is somebody who you shared assets with, and maybe that's why there's this courthouse stuff. Who knows what the reason is, though? You could be dealing with somebody who actually has legal issues. So, I mean, there's really, this could be anything. This is a general reading. If this was a personal reading, I would be able to pinpoint it a little bit more. All right, so what is the obstacle here? What is the obstacle here for Scorpio? There's something to do with a house and home situation here. So for some of you, this is somebody who you were really, really strongly connected to. There's something that you think is your wish come true that is not necessarily going to make you happy here, or this is something that has been very, very disappointing to you. There is very little chance of there being any restoration of relational integrity here. I'm getting that very strongly that for some of you, you actually are dealing with a third party situation, okay? And this is something that you may not already know about, and maybe you didn't know about it in the past, and now you're just starting to learn about it, and this is what is causing you the despair. You're learning that there's been choices, and somebody's feeling guilty and everything else. But what I'm getting here is that the obstacle is that over time, there is going to be the opportunity for a reunion. But I am getting that there are other people involved here, whether it's another romantic connection or not. There are other people that have been involved in this connection, whether they're just friends or family members. But the obstacle is to put an end to this cycle once and for all. All right. Can we get more on this for Scorpio? The Four of Wands to the Nine of Cups in reverse. There's the Scythe. So there's something about this situation that's going to bring a lot of pain. This is an obstacle. This is part of it. There's something here that's going to bring a lot of pain. This may have something to do with finances. This is whoever it is, and mature woman here. We've got wealthy man and mature woman. That can definitely indicate that there's a third party here. It does look like there is something that's going to potentially be very painful for you moving forward if you want to try and make this connection work. I'm not saying necessarily that in all cases this is somebody who is in a romantic third party, but there are other people involved here. So your obstacle is to love yourself, and to remain optimistic moving forward. This situation brings a lot of stress, but there is forgiveness to be had after feeling like things have been shattered, because I'm getting that this was potentially, for some of you, this was an actual marital connection, okay, and it just didn't work out. And I'm getting here that that's kind of what Spirit is trying to say, is that the obstacle here may be that it could be that this marriage could be saved at some point. The problem is that something needs to be done about understanding your own healing and self-love here, because it's almost like there's an energy here that will continue to behave the way that it behaves until it's held accountable in a way that is going to actually make them realize something. What is the advice here for Scorpio? What is the advice for Scorpio? We've got the Eight of Cups in reverse. And the Five of Swords. So somebody's coming back towards you, and it looks like they've got a bit of a chip on their shoulder about something. It does look like there's a lot of animosity and tension. It does look like there's, if you go back to this connection, it does look like it's not going to be easy to rebuild this. This is not moving forward very quickly at all. It actually looks like it's at a complete halt here. It does look like for a lot of you, this is a marriage, and you are... That's what Spirit just told me, is that it's going to be very difficult. It's going to take a lot of strength and fortitude to try and make this work. But honestly, Scorpio, if you feel like you have what it takes to try and get through this, power to you, honestly, because I think that there's something to be said about anybody who can actually successfully complete their life feeling like they made it through, because marriages are never easy. I don't think that they ever are really easy. That being said, I also don't think that you should stay in a connection if it's abusive. But I don't know, based on what I just saw, it looks like Spirit's saying like you can do it. It's just, it doesn't look like it's being rebuilt very easily right now, and it does look like there's something to do with you building on your own self-love and confidence here that you may need to consider before trying to make this work. There's something to do with following your destiny. Okay. And I don't know that it has to do with walking back towards this person, but it could. If you want to know, this is the Stars card. If you know what time you were born at on the day, the time, the place, you look up your birth chart, look up the north node, your north node of the moon. That will tell you what your destiny is. And it'll give you an idea. You still have to use your intuitive guidance also in navigating that, but it will give you an idea as to what it is that you're supposed to be doing. But whatever it is that you're meant to be doing is going to be a gift or a wish come true for you. And honestly, Scorpio, it looks like you might be loyal to this person. Honestly, this could be part of your destiny, is to try and make this work. This doesn't look easy though, and honestly, what I'm seeing based on what based on what I've already been seeing here, Scorpio, is that in order for this to actually work, you're probably going to have to really work on yourself too. There's something about holding on to this. You're like hopes and dreams, okay? This is your hopes and dreams. There is, okay, so that Five of Swords can be known as self-sabotage too. So Scorpio, you may be, I'm just reading the energies. So some of these can be your energies too. I'm getting here that Spirit, the very consistent message I'm continuing to get throughout this reading is that there's something about yourself that you need to look at here, okay? And I think it has something to do with your confidence, but it looks like there's a potential that it could be you who's sabotaging this as well, okay? I mean, there's nothing wrong with taking accountability, right? Like, maybe I'm supposed to be sugarcoating these things? I don't know. I just started this channel in January. It really did just start out as a hobby. You know, I wasn't really expecting it to take off as quickly as it did. All right, so there's something about, okay, so here's what I've got, okay, Scorpio, is that there's something about feeling like you have a soul contract to somebody, with somebody who it's been turbulent. And you're kind of indecisive about what it is that you feel like you want to do, because there's something to do with crossing boundaries that has caused there to feel like there was some sort of rock bottom that's been hit here. So, but I am getting a lot of energies here that are showing that there's a potential that this can be rectified and fixed, because it seems that there is some sort of bond you've got with this person that makes you feel very, very loyal to them. What is the outcome? And honestly, Scorpio, if you don't feel like you're loyal to this person, by all means, don't get with them. I'm just saying what I'm seeing here in the energies. The outcome, we've got the Knight of Cups. We've got a romance here. All right, so what I'm getting here, Scorpio, is that you should be able to predict the consequences of this action. Okay, this is something that you've already been burned by in the past. And there's something to do with something not... Okay, there's somebody who's not being totally honest here. This is either you or somebody who you've been dealing with. It's either you or the person you're connecting to here. Somebody's not being honest here. And it could have something to do with third-party situations, or just anything that's putting a wedge between you and this person, okay? You may be dealing with an energy of somebody who is being dishonest. We've got like serious dishonesty here. King of Swords in reverse to the Seven of Swords. There's some sort of dishonesty going on here. And this is potentially, it can be a forever situation. That's what keeps showing up here. This can be a forever situation, but it's not going to be very emotionally fulfilling for you, is what's coming up here. All right, Scorpio, what else do we have on this Knight of Cups to the Fool in reverse? You're dealing with somebody who's really, really masked up. We've got the mask now. Okay, so there is deception everywhere. Okay, so for some of you Scorpios, you have actually been dealing with somebody who wears a pathological mask. What this actually means is that this is a person who will sit there and actually, even if it's in a covert way, kind of take the time to pontificate on their own greatness, and it's done in such a way that people believe it. There's nothing that they've actually done that substantiates anything that they say about themselves, but they are very convincing and they believe in it themselves. So it's not even like you can call them a liar, because you can't. I feel like the word liar is very harsh. Like you're saying that this person intentionally misled you, or was dishonest on purpose. But I don't know that somebody who's wearing a pathological mask is dishonest on purpose. I think that they genuinely believe in their own crap, and then they peddle that. So this is something that you're going to have to use your better judgment on, is what Spirit's saying. And there's something about a journey here. You may have the opportunity to go on a journey elsewhere, and that might be why the stars are there as well. You may need to follow the stars toward where it is that you need to actually be going. But it does look like for some of you, this can be saved. But I think that it's going to be a matter of also coming to terms with your own shortcomings as well, and how you've attracted this energy in the first place. Okay, here we go. Dishonesty jumps out. There's something to do with dishonesty. So you may want to dig deep in yourself and find out what it is that's in yourself that has caused you to attract somebody who's this dishonest, because I mean, it's just everywhere. It's everywhere, all over this reading. And this is part of your soul contract with this person, by the way. And this person, and this is what I'm seeing here, is that you actually feel very, very bonded to this person. This person is irreplaceable. You may be irreplaceable to them. You're inseparable. In time, this is going to potentially work out. I'm getting today, there are a lot of waves, but in time, you will recognize that you're inseparable, and that was what I was seeing. Like, there's a really high potential that this can work out, but it looks like there's a lot of kinks that need to be ironed out here. I'm seeing in your energy that there's this, like, there's something to do with not having, with some sort of lack of confidence, or even some level of dependency perhaps. And in their energy, I'm getting so much dishonesty. It's everywhere, okay? They're not even honest with themselves. Like, this is one of these people who probably has to learn the hard way every single time. Okay, so if you have a question, Scorpio, ask, because I'm going to pull an angel card here, and it could be a yes or a no. So if you have a question potentially about this reading, you might want to ask it. Helpful people. There may be other people in your energy that can help you with this. What else is there? Yes. Whatever your question was, the answer is yes. You might want to ask another one, because I might get another... We've got no need to worry, and opportunity. There may be another opportunity, or an opportunity. I'm getting very strongly that this can be, if you're both willing to work on yourselves, or if you're, at least even if you put in the energy to consider your own shortcomings, Scorpio, and really work on them, you may be able to fix this connection. But it looks right now like there's too much going on here as far as dishonesty on their part, and lack of confidence on yours. So anyway, Scorpio, that is your reading for the week of April 6th to the 12th, 2025. Thank you for all your likes, shares, and subscribes. And until I read you again, have yourself a blessed week.